Hey, welcome back to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Haunt. It has been far too hot today. I wasn't going to create anything because it has been more a day of just kind of oozing day. However, I have beer. I have some Galaxy counters, which I really shouldn't be having on my diet, but I need a treat tonight. And I thought I would come on here. Now I have some mojo back, and it's cooled down to somewhere a little bit north of Hell's Arse. I thought I'd talk to you about Toys R Us catalogues from the 90s, because why the hell not? If there's something that brings up nostalgia, it's toy catalogues. You know, there's the back of Argos, it was Index for a while as well, but Toys R Us was just a glorious thing. I've got here 5 UK Toys R Us catalogues from the early to mid 90s, and we're going to have a quick look through and see what we can find. Granted, my focus will be on action figures and, you know, familiar IP stuff, franchise stuff, but we'll take a look at all of these anyway. So this first one I've got here is Christmas 1991. So I'll be 13. Let's see what we've got here. So we've got a cool cover there. We've got the magical joy of an old school Toys R Us there. See, we didn't get Toys R Us until the 90s in the UK. I don't know when folks in the States got them, but we didn't get them until the 90s. So it was just a beautiful thing. I remember going around the only one that was near me with awe, wanting everything in sight. So at the start of this one, you've got the eternal baby toys. That there's always going to be toys for little ones. You got the prams and stuff, play school and kiddie craft things. It's funny how these sort of things haven't really changed that much. They may change how they've been made, but a lot of these things still look relatively contemporary. So it's interesting how those things don't really change. Check that out. Turtles hand puppet. We've got Ed the Duck. Ed the Duck. We've got Werebears there and Garfield stuff, but it's Ed the Duck. British TV icon, whether you like it or not. Up there with Mr. Blobby. Don't want to know where he's up. But anyway, dolls and things. Again, stuff like this hasn't hugely changed, I wouldn't say, from what I've seen. That Sylvanian Family's house is amazing. Look at the prices as well. These would be like 60 quid for looking at them by now. Then we get to like the more educational stuff. Things like Speak and Spell and the Text Instrument stuff that were put out as toys but had that educational element to make it so parents could square it with themselves that they were buying a big chunk of plastic for people. Manual typewriters. I do like that down in the corner there's a microscope and telescope and walkie-talkies and stuff like that. I had a microscope and it was amazing. Never had a telescope, but kind of always wanted one, just to see if I could find if there was any intelligent life out there, or indeed down here. This is cool. There's a lot of vouchers here. I can see why this was very attractive to people. And I see down there, oh wow, down there, there's a coupon here. So this is 1991. This is quite a bit after Ghostbusters was a big thing. But there's a voucher there. Save £8 off this product, the Tonka Ghostbuster Proton Pack. I had that set. The Proton Pack, a big piece of foam sticking out of the neutrino wand, the watch type thing, and the PKE meter where you could revolve the top and the dial on the front made a clicky sound. We were simple things back then, 90s kids. That's cool. That's cool. Lovely to see that again. What else have we got here? We've got offers on Police Activity Centre. Start them early on law enforcement. There's a karaoke machine down there. That's cool. Parents love a coupon, and I now, as a parent, I understand why. Got the Auto City stuff, some of the cars and die-cast models. Now you're talking. Look at that. For a start, you got the horoids, not hemorrhoids, horoids. Squishy face puppets, those are cool. But you got Boglins, the original range of Boglins. Yes, man. Absolute joy. Hard not to love a Boglin. So you got the hairy Boglins, the glowing Boglins, the large Boglins, and small Boglins. And look at those prices again: $14.94 for a large Boglin, I think the repro one that I got for my son Alex a few years ago was like 40 quid or something like that. It was crazy. Costumes. That is a rough looking Turtles costume. That is not ideal. But I bet kids enjoyed it. I always enjoyed dressing up. Now we've got, hey, hello there, my pretties. So we've got Transformers here. Let's see what we've got. We've got the Dinobots. So I see Grimlock and what else we got there? We've got Prowl. What was the? Oh no, what was the fire engine called? Was he called Inferno? Red Inferno. So I can't remember. Jazz. We've got triple changes there. Okay. And we've got another edition of the classic 84 Optimus Prime, Gen 1 Optimus Prime, but this was 91, so these have been out for like 7 years by now. So it's interesting that it was still going strong there. It was such a good range, Transformers G1. We've got Ninja Turtles, we've got the Copter, the Party Wagon, the Sewer playset, and the Sewer Dragster. I don't remember the Sewer Dragster, but I remember the rest of those. Those were awesome. Those figures were surprisingly sturdy as well. The ones I had from the Ninja Turtles range, they were really fun, and they put up with a lot of abuse, much like He-Man figures as well. G.I. Joe, I was never really big on G.I. Joe, but it was more an American thing, and I thought they were cool. I had a few of them, but wasn't a massive fan of those. What else we got down here? Okay, from Batman there, we've got the Batwing from the Jack Nicholson movie, and we've got pre-Jim Carrey Riddler and pre-Danny DeVito Penguin there as well from that range. That was a good range. I remember the Batman that you can see there. I had that, and that's the one that had a Batarang. Also had a retractable belt. You could pull the belt out, and it had like a spring mechanism on it, and it had like a cord on it, so he could use it as like a grappling hook sort of thing. That was cool. Manta Force. I'll tell you about Manta Force someday. That was I'll have to do a video on Manta Force. WWF official wrestling ring. Who can I see in there? I see Hulk Hogan. I can see Ultimate Warrior, and all the usuals there. That was fun. That stuff was fun. Then you got the superhero vehicles. So we've got. Yeah, I always found these kind of pointless. Like, why would Superman need any kind of vehicle? Captain America Turbo Coupe reminds me of like a mask vehicle, and the Spider-Man Dragster looks like a wedge of spider cheese. How would you milk a spider? There's a question for the comments. What have we got down below? We've got 0 Hour, some of the early Simpsons figures, which kind of nightmarish. Look at Marge's face there. What's going on there? And Ketamine Homer, by the look of it. I will say the figures now that are out for the Simpsons are really way much better. So Starcom was amazing. I think I've mentioned Starcom before, and it was instead of having battery operated toys, it was all kind of clockwork and magnets and springs and coiled stuff. Really, really, really cool. There was a short-lived cartoon from it, which was all right, but those toys were really, really good. A really interesting successor to the sort of era of the battered Star Wars ships. Now, what's this over here? Monster Mountain. Display your collection of 48 Monster in My Pocket figures. And we've also got a WCW ring as well. Not just WWF, we've got WCW being badasses. I think that's going to be as good as that, as good as this catalogue gets. Those are the finest pages by far. Then you've got your Scale Extra. You've got your like handheld games. Now there is something I do have a lot of nostalgia for, is the era of handheld LCD games. We got there Ninja Turtles. I had the Ninja Turtles one, and Star Trek. I didn't have that. And there's a wrestling one, and then we've got Paperboy, Altered Beast, and Outrun on the little LCD handheld units there. Mario Brothers, Zelda, and Donkey Kong on the watch and play ones. Nice. Those are cool. That's a pretty good catalogue, to be honest. We got board games, video game consoles, Look at that. Master System 2, Mega Drive, Atari, Nintendo. So this looks like it predates the SNES. So it can't have been, there can't be much in it there. So I thought that this came out around at the same time. There's the Game Gear at the bottom with the TV tuner. Didn't remember that. The Game Gear had a TV tuner you could attach and watch tiny TV. The Atari Lynx and Game Boy stuff, absolute classic. And then you've got your bikes and your Christmas stuff. That was cool. Okay, we're going to move on to Christmas 1993. So I'll be 15 for this one. This one should be good. So some of these will like move past the end of my first era, liking toys and stuff like that. Because as an adult, when you have a bit more means to check these things out, big fan again now. But from about 1995, I entirely bypassed the PlayStation era because I discovered guitars. And yeah, that saw me through quite well, to be honest. Here we got the Fisher-Price things here. Come on, let's get the exciting stuff going. My 1993, don't let me down. Again, we got all the similar stuff from the 91 catalogue there. I see Teddy Ruxpin. Oh my god, another one for the UK nostalgia people there. Zig and Zag from The Big Breakfast. I know it comes in for a lot of flack now in the modern era, but I did love The Big Breakfast at the time. What else have we got? Some Kenner. That's a terrifying looking clown. Why would you pay 45 quid for a clown that's going to scare the hell out of you? You got Barbie and Cindy. Littlest Pet Shop, Sylvanian Families again. I'm glad Sylvanian Families have lasted so long. Oh, let's save them 350 quid off with these coupons. Nothing exciting in those, but again, parents would have loved those coupons. Now we're getting to the exciting part. I see some Star Trek stuff there. So, I think I briefly had a phaser. I didn't have a tricorder, and I still want one of the tricorders, the next gen tricorders that open up. Not a 3D printed one. One day I will have an original one of those. I would love that. But I see there's a phaser and there's a personal communicator, and I did have that personal communicator, thinking it would be like badge sized, like in the Next Generation. Was it badge sized? Was it arse? It was huge. It was like a saucer. And you had to kind of clamp it on and stick a thing through the back, and it was shoddy, but you know, it'd be easy to make it now. Again, tell us the same telescope and the same microscope as well there. Now because we're getting on in the 90s there, we've got Batman the Animated Series figures. Now that's cool. Look at those. Yeah, you got Batman different costumes and different colours and stuff like that, but the fact that this was out and, you know, it was popular, I loved it. And now, you know, it's one of the most respected animated shows of all time. And also we've got a cool Robocop figure there, 12-inch Robocop figure. I think it had a light-up face, that one. Action Boglins, Little Dracula Coffin Car. Captain Scarlet, when that got another weird lease of life in the 90s. James Bond Jr., Last Action Hero. Stuff from the Last Action Hero. Nice. Random Army things. Terminator. The Terminator assault vehicle. The Bioflesh Regenerator. So that's the one where you would put the endoskeleton inside the machine, and you would fill it up with goop, and it would cover it in flesh. Never had that. I wonder if it was it plasticine or something? If you had that, please let me know below, because I'd love to know. Mighty Max and more G.I. Joe. I think we've hit the era of G.I. Joe's neon era there, where it all got kind of a bit more 90s and tried to appeal to more people. Ah, look at these, you beauty. I was a big Turtles fan, so I did, around this era, still have some Turtles toys and stuff. We've got a party wagon there. We've got some transforming figures, the bikes and stuff like that. We've also got a Super Mario Brothers police car from the live-action Super Mario Brothers movie starring Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo and Dennis Hopper and Samantha Mathis and lots of other people. I didn't mind it at the time. I saw it at the cinema as a kid and thought, no, actually, they've tried with that. Granted, effects were a lot more simple back then, but I liked it for what it was. We've got Aladdin's Cave as well. I love these Star Trek ones. I'm a bit of a Star Trek Next Generation fan, always have been. So seeing that shuttle and the Enterprise D and those figures of the characters, mwah, beautiful. Down at the bottom now, we see Transformers is relegated to a corner. I don't even remember those. Transformers Obliterators, Lightformers Track-Ons, are they even Transformers? Aquaspeeders Stormtroopers. So there only appears to be one bit there labelled as actual Transformers. We've got Deluxe Robo Machines. Indeed. Superhero Spider-Man car again from the previous one, but pictured weirdly with Spider-Man, Magneto, Gambit and Wolverine. The same WWF ring again, but there's one for the nostalgia types. A Hornby Gladiators set. I don't remember that at all. I think this is when I was discovering more and more heavy metal and horror movies, to be honest. And you got your radio controlled cars and your board games. Let's have a look at the board games. Just see if any of these are still around. What would I know? There's Risk, Legend of Zagor in the corner. That looks fun. Trivial Pursuits and things like that. Don't Wake Dad. Atmosphere. Cluedo. Dingbats. I had Dingbats. That was fun. Dark World and things. Awesome. These were always good at like birthdays and Christmas, weren't they? Battle Masters. No idea about the game, but I just wanted to say Battle Masters. So I did. Oh, wow. Okay, down in the corner there, you'll see there is a barcode battler. Just over my head. And I remember those were brought up in the media a lot. They had a bit of a media stink about those because you could scan barcodes of shopping items and it would give you stats for your characters and stuff in the game. And there was like a worry that it would cause mass hysteria and panic over weird items, you know, like, I don't know, shampoo or toilet brushes or something like that, if the barcode had a big powerful effect with a barcode battler. Didn't happen, you know, as with a lot of media created nonsense. Okay, so this is where we start finding pages of video games. Mega Drive software from 1497. Let's see what we'd get for. Let's see what we've got in these here. So we've got Busby, Sonic 2, Streets of Rage 2, Echo the Dolphin, Jungle Strike, Road Rash 2, Golden Axe 2. Mwah, beautiful. Mortal Kombat, Micro Machines, Flashback. I enjoyed playing Flashback, but it wound me up because I didn't quite follow it. Well, there's three favourites there. So there's Outrun right at the end. There's Cool Spot, that was fun. And there's X-Men, which I played the absolute hell out of. Jurassic Park as well. What else have we got down here? Master System games. Got Mortal Kombat on the Master System. I can't imagine that was great. I did have a Master System for a while. Mega CD software. Afterburner 3. Yes. Loved Afterburner. Black Hole, Prince of Persia, Dracula. That's really cool. Batman Returns. Bet Batman Returns was fun on the Sega CD. Game Gear software from 997. Looking at games now and they're like 80 quid each. Kind of miss this era, not going to lie. Nintendo stuff. So we've got SNES. That's so cool. Star Wars, Super James Pond, Starwing, Batman Returns again, Bubsy, Super Mario All-Stars. NES software from 497. A £5 for a NES cartridge. That's so cool. Kirby's Adventure there for like a £5. That's brilliant. and Game Boy software. You can see how things were evolving more towards video games and less about IP characters and established familiar characters as well. Let's take a look at the next one I've got, which is Christmas 1994. If you want to go and have a longer look at these, they are all on the Internet Archive. Just search up Toys R Us catalogues, and they're all on the Internet Archive for you to look at for free. Okay, let's get past the smaller kid stuff. Power Rangers, of course, they were coming up then. So this is 94, so I think the big burst of Power Rangers was like 94, 95, wasn't it, where it all started getting crazy for those. There was less video games in there. There's some video games at the bottom there. Moving on to the bikes, that's a very short one, so you can see things were really changing there. So now we've got 96, so I'm imagining there's a lot more video game stuff in here, probably the PlayStation as well. Let's take a look. Again, you see these things didn't really change. And they still, a lot of things like this still look very similar. Although there's no physical catalogue to pore over for hours, gazing lovingly at things. You should probably take screenshots of things. Okay, we want more digital stuff here that connects to TV, so there's more plug and play stuff. I can see that becoming a more of a thing there. More LCD screened type of computers. These are cool. Model kits, the Star Trek Voyager kit there. Boats and planes. There's a 3D puzzle of Millennium Falcon. Why not? Art supplies and stuff. That's cool. I don't think we've seen that in the others. Dolls and stuff. Come on, where's the action figures? There's got to be some left, please, somewhere. Are there none? Are there no IP action figures? Here we go. Space Monkeys. What was Space Monkeys? Was that an animated series? Vague memory of that being a thing. There's an Earthworm Jim. There's an Earthworm Jim figure up there. That's so cool. What else we got in the Marvel action figures there? We've got an Iron Man, Doctor Doom. Is that Mobius in the corner? Thing, Reed Richards, Spider-Woman. Was it Spider-Girl at that point? I can't remember. And Spidey with the Scorpion Spider Slayer. Street Sharks, they were fun. And costumes, this time including Masked Rider, aka Kamen Rider. We've got some more IP stuff. Excellent. So we've got Action Man and stuff. Never really grabbed me that. Toys R Us exclusive Superman figures. Doomsday there. Awesome. Some Batman Forever stuff. Batcycle, Batmobile, and the Night Sphere. It's like a smaller Batwing. But now we're starting to see Star Wars come back as well. There was a bit of a rekindled interest in Star Wars in the mid-90s. And now it was, I remember as far back as 1994 being at school, at secondary school, and there being talk of movies coming set in the Clone Wars. We already knew about the prequels 5 years before the Phantom Menace arrived, so there was definitely interest in that sort of thing coming back. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, got some Zords there, got some Johnny Quest, first sighting of Buzz Lightyear there, Micro Machines, and that's a really big Enterprise D. Transwarping Starship Enterprise, oh, it's the one with the third nacelle on it, awesome. More games, a few less games, more spread out this time. And computer supplies. Yeah, I like it how they lump those in with toys, because for a while computers were very much seen as a children's thing, a passing phase. How did that work out for you, Luddites? PS1, Sega Saturn. Imagine trying to put those together. Facing off against each other. You've got the mighty PlayStation that just became a cultural icon. And then there's the Saturn that most people don't even remember. There's SNES, Game Boy. Cool. I think that's it if interesting stuff in that one. So finally, our final catalogue of the evening is this one. I'm really enjoying this. Thank you for joining me for this. I love old toy nostalgia, is fun. The 1997 Christmas catalogue. So I'll have been 19, well out of my toy period, well into my guitars, heavy music, concerts, magazines, posters. of Rockstar's that phase. And why not? Let's see what's in this one, though. We've got some vouchers. We've got the little kids stuff. Keyboards. LCD games, keyboards, Tiger stuff. The art stuff. Again, microscope. You also get an anatomy body there. Human body you can pull to bits. Why not? Come on, show me some good IP stuff to finish this off, my dudes. Cool costumes. Bit disturbed by the Buzz Lightyear one though, there with the moulded face. That looks a bit weird. We've got a Hulk figure. More Spidey vehicles. Spidey doesn't need vehicles. Big Bad Beetleborgs. Power Rangers Zeo. Oh god, we were already on Zeo by that point. That's crazy. I mean, so many kinds of Power Rangers. Action Man. More Star Wars stuff. Nice to see those. More Batman. Still putting Batman Forever stuff in. And that was 1997. Wasn't that a year that Batman and Robin came out? Oh yeah, it says it there. Batman and Robin Bathammer. Batman and Robin Batmobile. The Batmobile's kind of cool. Less said about the movie, the better. Star Wars stuff. More Star Wars stuff. And then we're on to the other stuff like games and things like that. That's so fun. It's lovely to see these things again. I'd love to have a go at some of those games. One I particularly miss was my original copy of Screwball Scramble. Loved Screwball Scramble. But that is a wonderful way to end an evening. And we've got a PlayStation N64. That's more like it. That's better than the Sega Saturn was. The N64 is still quite loved, especially with 007 there, GoldenEye, Doom 64. That's quite a lineup. PlayStation games including Oddworld, Mock, Rapid Racer, Croc, and Tomb Raider. But yeah, that's cool. It's nice to see these things again. It's nice to be able to look through these things online. If you do want to look at these online, as I say, they are available for free over on the Internet Archive. And that's a great way to end an evening. So I'm Andrew Horn. I'm a big old nerd that enjoys nostalgia about old stuff that's not around anymore. And why not? Thank you for watching this episode of Planet Hex.